Hello. So my name is Patrick Gavin. I'm a EdTech Fellow at the Digital Harbor Foundation in Baltimore, Maryland. Today, our guru, I guess you might call him, Shelly Blake-Plock, was talking to us about the future and the idea of people predicting what the future might be and solving, difficult problems using technology in ways that you might not expect. And it sort of got me thinking. I guess the question that prompted me was he said, will there still be schools in the traditional sense that we understand them, a building, a place where people gather, students gather to learn in 30 years? And my initial thought was, yeah, absolutely. Why would there not be? But then the more I thought about it, it did make you start to think, it made me start to think about the way that problems are solved through unconventional um, means. For instance, I was reading recently about how a lot of the problems that people have with meat these days, how inefficient a way of getting energy it is for humans, how cruelty to animals is a problem, how these problems might be solved by uh, genetically just growing the tissue in isolation. If you want a chicken thigh, then growing a chicken thigh, and that's it, using genetics. Apparently, PETA has already signed off on this idea. They love it. You don't have to be inefficient and grow an entire chicken just to eat its breast and its thigh. You don't have to slaughter a chicken to be able to eat it. You're growing the exact same tissue, you're just growing only that tissue through genetic technology that I'm not going to pretend like I really understand. And it made me think about our schools. And, there's that famous scene in The Matrix where Keanu Reeves enters the Matrix. He doesn't know much of anything in terms of fighting. And then all of a sudden they upload into him Kung Fu. And he famously says, "Whoa, I know Kung Fu," in that Keanu Reeves delivery that only he can do. And you start to wonder, maybe in 50 years it's going to be as easy as that. Maybe we're just going to upload information into kids. Maybe in 30 years, kids aren't going to get information uploaded into their brains, but maybe they won't have to go to a school building because um, education will be available so easily on their phone or whatever, whatever apparatus they're using. Or maybe it'll be integrated into our bodies in some way. Maybe we'll be able to just kind of, plug into each other via, uh, connected networks. So it just really does make you think about what we need to do to prepare kids or what's going to be the next step. If I train for 5 years to become an English professor, um, will there actually be a place to gather in 20 years from now? Will I actually have a class in the traditional sense? A lot of us think that the University of Phoenix is kind of a joke because what are they doing? They're offering online courses that are notoriously easy to cheat on or have someone else do your coursework for you or something like that. But the University of Phoenix has a lot of money, and maybe one day, even though they have these beginnings that some of us sort of scoff at, maybe one day the University of Phoenix will be the new Harvard. So I don't really know what kind of answers I have or what kind of next step strategy I have other than just embrace technology and integrate it in a sort of invisible um, and ubiquitous way in my teaching as best I can. But it just is interesting. I think it just gives you a lot to think about. Anyway, thanks for listening to this 4.5 minute rant on my random thoughts.